everyone. Welcome. I'm going to be sharing some of the best Prime Day deals on curly hair products that are going on right now through the 11th. I'm going to have my Prime Day list linked for you below if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're joining me from Instagram, all you have to do is just comment the word links and it will send you a direct message from me with the link to that list. You can go ahead and shop the deals on there. But welcome everybody. Let me know where you're joining from. Let me know if you're on Instagram or on YouTube. I'm live on both platforms right now. Also, let me know what items that you're hoping to find on sale. What are you shopping for right now? I'm also going to be giving you personalized product recommendations, not just products that are on sale, but also any products. So if you need help picking products, leave your hair details in the comments. I will be checking this after I go through some of my top picks. I'm going to be going through the pre-submitted ones as well as whoever leaves comments down below with your hair type. So if you could just let me know the most important things about your hair, which in my opinion include your hair's texture. So is it fine, medium, or coarse? Just take your best bet. And also let me know if it's soft or if it's more on the rough side. This is something that I like to refer to when it comes to people's hair texture or that finish of your hair. Do you find that your hair is overly soft or is it more on the rough side? And this is usually a combination of your hair's porosity, your texture, and your curl pattern. Those are some of the most important things that I consider when picking products for my clients and for my viewers. So definitely let me know. You can also let me know what your curl pattern is, although that doesn't matter too much, but it is helpful to know just if you're wavy or curly or coily. And then you can tell me your porosity if you know that, or just tell me if you have damage or not. So leave those hair details in your comment when you're telling me what product that you need help shopping for. I need specifics if I'm going to help you with a product recommendation. So don't just say something like gel. I can't really do much with that information. So I definitely need to know what kind of gel are you looking for? Do you want a stronghold gel, or are you looking for a clarifying shampoo or a specific hair mask? Based on your hair type, definitely let me know. So I have some pre-submitted ones that I'm going to be going through where some of you submitted your hair type to me over on Instagram as well as on YouTube. So I will be going through that. But let's go ahead and get into the Prime Day deals that are happening right now. Again, if you're joining on YouTube, there is a pinned comment. And also in the description box, there's a link to my Amazon deal list. So that's where you will find all of these product links. And then after the live, I will be adding the individual links for the products that I mentioned and hold up. So if you do want direct links, just wait till the end and I will be sure to add those. Hey, Jen from Florida. Angelica, hi. Thanks so much for joining. I also see some of the pre-submitted ones here as well in the comments. So thanks to those of you who submitted those. Let's go ahead and get into the products that are on sale. And when I go through the sale list, I try and pick items that are actually a good deal, not just things that I see on sale all the time. And I do track these things. So I usually track the deals at least once a week on Amazon. So I know what products are typically on sale or not. And so I'm making sure to feature ones that I don't see go on sale often, or that it's actually a good percentage off, because we don't need just 10%. Like I want to see at least 20% off when there's a Prime Day sale. So one of the brands that is typically on sale for Prime Day, but not all the time, is Olaplex. So the first product that I have is the Olaplex number 4C Bond Maintenance Clarifying Shampoo. So I chose this product because I love a multi-purpose product. I'm all about simplifying things. This product, you can remove hard water buildup, remove product buildup, and get in your bond maintenance as well. So it is going to strengthen damaged hair. So if you have color treated hair or highlighted hair, or if you're growing out past heat damage, or really just any hair type, anyone can benefit from bond repair, but especially those of you with damaged hair. This is going to be a hard water shampoo that's going to also double up for your bond repair. Now, when it comes to bond repair and products that you rinse off pretty quickly, I don't find those to be as strong as using something like a treatment or a mask that you leave on. So if you do have very damaged hair, I wouldn't use this as your only bond repair product. But for those of you with healthy hair, you can totally use this just for your bond repair treatment. So I love simplifying things, and this allows you to get in multiple things in one step. And I think everyone should be using a clarifying shampoo that works for hard water, regardless of your water type, because then you know that it's going to remove everything. If you're swimming, if you're traveling, if you don't know if you have hard water or not, I highly recommend something like this. Now, I have quite a few hard water shampoos that are on sale that I will share with you, and I'll be sure to explain the differences. But pretty much when it comes to hard water shampoos and clarifying ones, it'll work for any hair type. Just pick whichever one speaks to you. I'm not too picky when it comes to that, and it's not going to depend on your hair type per se. So the other Olaplex product that I wanted to feature was their number 3. So this is their actual bond repair treatment. So this is going to be the most effective when it comes to actually repairing those damaged areas of your hair and repairing broken bonds. So Olaplex and bond repair treatments are actually able to repair damage. Now you do still need to get damage cut off and grow it out and all of that, but to help maintain that lengthen your hair and also help maintain that hair as you're growing it out, you do need some sort of bond treatment. So this is just a classic. I always recommend this to most of my clients, especially those of you who have damaged hair, because it's going to work for everyone. It doesn't contain any actual protein, so any hair type can use this, no matter if you're coarse or you're fine, you can use this, whereas some other ones, they have proteins in it and stuff, which is awesome, but not every hair type can use those. So this is just all around a great one. By the way, this is one that you use before you shampoo. So make sure you're shampooing this out and not leaving it in your hair, and don't leave it on too long either. I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, is they sleep in it or they leave it in their hair all day. Don't do that. Follow the directions on the label, which state that you want to leave it on for about 10 minutes minimum and then shampoo it out. So make sure that you are doing that. So I also wanted to share another clarifying shampoo, and I'll just kind of compare the differences. I have the Ouidad Waterworks, which is an all-time favorite product of mine. I always recommend this to my clients as well. So many of them use this and love it, but this is a good clarifying shampoo that's not too stripping. It is color safe. I believe the Olaplex one is as well. But this is just all around a great one. I find the Olaplex one to be a little bit stronger and slightly more drying. Like when I rinse this out of my hair, I definitely feel like I need a deep conditioner ASAP. But with this one, I definitely need a deep condition, but I could get away with just a regular conditioner after, and it's totally fine. But this is going to remove your hard water minerals as well, product buildup, chlorine, all of that. All around great product, highly recommend. And I believe Ouidad is 25% off right now, which isn't a huge amount, but it's better than full price. So definitely try that out if you're looking for just a good all around one. Again, the main difference is this one has the bond repair in it and this one doesn't. So those of you with damaged hair, you might want to pick this one. If you have lower porosity hair, medium hair, you don't have a ton of damage, you could use this one. Or if you're already using a bond repair treatment and you just need to add in a clarifying shampoo, then I would go with this one. Awesome. So let's get into some regular shampoos and conditioners. I'm going in order, by the way. I do have lots of good stylers and some more treatments I want to share with you, but let's talk about shampoos and conditioners. I have a higher end option and a drugstore option for you. So for my higher end option, I have the AG Balance and Boost. So this is a combo that I talk about all the time, but I really like these because it's actually strong enough to remove all of your product residue. So if you're someone like me that likes to use a lot of polyquats in your products, maybe you dabble into a little bit of silicone, maybe you have a very oily scalp or even a very dry scalp, this is going to be for you because it will help balance out the scalp. That's why it has that in the name. This contains apple cider vinegar, which helps to balance the pH in your scalp. So for those of you who are overly oily and your hair always seems super oily, something like this is going to effectively remove that to where your wash days last longer. And then the conditioner is very lightweight. It's definitely a lightweight conditioner. I've heard some people say that it's not quite moisturizing enough because this is fairly strong. So if you find that to be the case, maybe just get this one and then use a more moisturizing conditioner under it or a mask. But I find it to be totally fine. And my hair is pretty dry. I don't find these dry me out, but I definitely need to follow up with conditioner after. I wouldn't skip conditioner or anything. But this also contains apple cider vinegar, the conditioner, silicone free. I find it to be pretty lightweight and very moisturizing for my hair type. So definitely check those out, especially for you oily scalp types. Then I have the Maui Moisture Lightweight Hydration Shampoo and Conditioner. This is a drugstore favorite of mine. Very cheap. I love Maui Moisture shampoos. They're very effective. They're actually cleansing enough, which is hard to find when it comes to a drugstore shampoo. Sometimes the curly hair shampoos are just way too mild, like the ones that have shea butter and coconut oil and your co-washes. I like a strong shampoo because you want to get rid of all of that residue. Have a clean slate to go in with your stylers. That way it's not impacting your hold. You're not leaving product residue behind or oil. Always start with a good, strong shampoo. You can always follow up with conditioner to replenish the moisture. So don't worry about your hair being too dry. You just condition afterwards. So this one's really great. I love it for fine hair types. Really any hair type can use this. It doesn't contain any oils or butters, which is hard to find, like I mentioned, especially those of you with very fine hair that gets weighed down easily. You don't want to be adding in that weight at your first step of your routine. So that's why I usually recommend this for my very fine hair clients, my lower porosity clients. They need that clean slate to start. And that's the type of shampoo. It's your regular shampoo, so you could use it on a regular basis. And then the conditioner that it comes with, it's really great. This one's very lightweight. I believe this set of these is what's on sale. I'm not sure the exact percentage, but definitely grab it while it's on sale. Otherwise, it's super affordable. Let's get into some treatments. So I already talked about Olaplex #3. That's my go-to for anyone with damaged hair. That's something you would use up to once a week, maybe once a month is a good minimum. But then there's also some bond repair leave-in. So this is the Living Proof Triple Bond Complex. I really like this one. I usually use it about once a week in place of my heat protectant step. So this also has heat protection in it, which is super convenient. It is a leave-in, so it's a little bit creamy. A little goes a long way. They say to only use 2 pumps of it, and you apply it to clean, damp hair. Then you let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then you go straight to your styler. So you don't have to rinse it out, and you don't have to shampoo it out, which is really helpful and very convenient. So I personally think if you have very damaged hair and you want to really amp up your bond repair, use something like Olaplex on a regular basis and then add this in once a week into your routine. That way you're getting that extra bond repair. Or maybe you're someone who doesn't have very damaged hair. Like my hair is technically virgin hair. I don't color my hair, but I still diffuse, I still brush style, and everyone does things that damage their hair like the sun. This would be a great way to just add in some of that bond repair without having something as strong as like using a full-on treatment all the time. So anyone can use this. I see your question, Susan. How do you know if you need a bond treatment? I think pretty much everyone does, unless if your hair is super healthy, then you could probably skip it. But like I mentioned, we all do things to our hair. If you go out in the sun all the time, if you diffuse, if you brush style, that's still that damage on the hair's cuticle. So bond repair can help for that. And you'll notice that it will kind of tighten up your curl pattern after you use it. It helps with that resilience in your curl pattern. So it's a good thing to use on a regular basis. But if your hair is super healthy and you don't do anything to it, then you probably don't have to add it in. But that's a great way to get it in, is something like this. Just use it once a week. You leave it in. It takes the place of your heat protection, which is super helpful. So what ingredients do bond treatments focus on? So there's usually patented ingredients that are different in each bond repair. And those are those ingredients that actually work on the inner workings of our hair to repair damage. So it's different than something like a protein, which is just temporary, that washes off. Like protein gives your hair temporary strength and creates that film on the hair. So I don't have an exact ingredient to tell you for bond treatments because they're all different. It's usually some patented molecular type of thing that the brands have. So they're all fairly different. They all work differently. So then when it comes to deep conditioners, so not everyone has to deep condition. I typically do it maybe every 3 wash days or twice a month because my hair gets pretty dry. So I definitely think most people can benefit from one unless your hair is very fine. If it's overly soft, you probably don't need a deep conditioner. For those of you who do like me, this is the new one I've been testing out and loving. And I'm so glad that there's finally a lightweight deep conditioner available. So this is the Briogeo acai and passion fruit lightweight hydration hair mask for fine to medium hair. I like that they actually label their products for hair texture, not curl type. That makes me crazy. I like when there's actually hair texture because that's how you pick your products. If your hair is fine to medium, you don't want something super heavy because it's going to weigh your hair down. So I like how that's actually accurate. But this is a deep conditioner that you would use maybe once a week, once a month. If your hair is very dry, if your hair is damaged and it's fine to medium, then you will need some moisture in it. So this is a lightweight deep conditioner. It smells amazing. There's only a couple of actually lightweight deep conditioners on the market. The other one is their one with protein that they have, the Don't Despair Repair. That's another favorite of mine that's also on sale. So if your hair is damaged, I would probably go with that one. But if you want a protein-free option for just moisture, this is a good one. It's still very moisturizing too for being lightweight. It's not too thick, which is nice. And I also wanted to mention, for most hair types, you want to spend some time really rinsing out your deep conditioner. A lot of people rush when they rinse it out and you're leaving behind a lot of that moisture. So if your hair gets weighed down from deep conditioner, take a few extra minutes, kind of massage your scalp and actually rinse it out thoroughly. You'd be surprised. Like you want to get it to where your hair doesn't feel super seaweedy. It's starting to feel just more clean and like a clean slate before you go ahead and, move on to your stylers. Definitely spend some time rinsing that out, but it's not too heavy. Hi, Andrea. Thanks for joining. Awesome. So let's get into some styling products. And I'm also going to get into the product recommendations based on your hair type. So if you were just joining, leave your hair type in the comments. Tell me your hair's texture. Is it fine, medium, or coarse? And take a good guess if you're not sure. A lot of us have multiple hair types. And then also tell me if your hair tends to be overly soft or if it's more brittle and more coarse feeling. let me know, because that's how I can help pick your product. And then obviously tell me what products you need help shopping for. So be a little bit specific. So tell me, do you need a gel? Are you looking for a clarifying shampoo? Whatever. Also, if you're just joining, I have the products linked on my storefront, and the link for that is pinned in the top comment on YouTube. And if you're joining from Instagram, all you have to do is just comment the word links and it will send you a DM. So for those of you on Instagram, just leave that in the comments and you'll get a DM that you can refer back to later with the links. So moving on to stylers, an all-time favorite of mine is the AG Recoil Curl Activator. So AG products are currently on sale. I think they're 25% off, which is a fairly good deal, especially on Amazon. But this is a curl cream that actually makes a difference in your curls. Like, it will clump them to no end. It'll help them bounce up. You really get that curl retention. Like, after I apply this to my hair and I run a brush through, you just see the curls really spring up. Obviously, your curls would have to spiral in the first place to be able to do that. But I definitely noticed an increase in the spirals and how clumped that they are. A little bit of this goes a long way though. So I feel like if you even get this size, it will last you so long because you only need a small amount, like a pea size amount. And when you rub it together, it'll just keep making like that white film. It'll keep kind of foaming up on your hand. So even as you're applying it, keep rubbing your palms to apply it to the other side. You don't need to pick up more. If you apply too much of this, it's going to be too softening and soften your hold. And you don't want too much moisture under your gel or else you're not going to get great hold. This actually does provide a little bit of hold. So if you're someone who doesn't want to use a gel at all and you just need a curl cream that has a little hold, this will definitely do that for you. It has humidity protection. I usually pair this with their Liquid Effects gel, which unfortunately I don't see that on Amazon at the moment. I don't know if it's sold out or if they're just replacing it because they recently updated the name. So I don't have that on my list right now, but that is what I would pair with this. I also like pairing it with this gel. So this is the Weedad Advanced Climate Control Heat and Humidity Stronger Hold Gel. So you guys have heard me talk about this so much. It's my most used gel because it's so long lasting. I like a very low maintenance routine. I don't want to have to refresh, and I don't have to refresh when I use this. I will use this like if I'm traveling and I want my hair to last a long time in humidity and I don't even have to touch my hair. I was recently at the beach in Jamaica and I also used this along with another gel that I'll show you, not together, on 2 separate routines, but I got very long lasting results. I didn't even have to refresh at the beach, which is insane. But it's very softening. So for those of you with very fine hair, you might not like this. It might be too moisturizing for you and kind of soften your hair. So if you find that your hair is naturally very soft, you could probably still use it, but you would need to add in a hairspray, which I do have one I'll show you in a minute, or something to give you more texture and grit, or just use a small amount, but be mindful of that. I have fine hair clients that use this and love it. And then I have some that just find it way too moisturizing. So I recommend other ones for that. But keep that in mind. It's very moisturizing. I would use this by itself. If you use any type of cream under this, it's probably going to soften the hold. Unless you need a lot of moisture, then definitely use the leave-in or curl cream under it. Like I said, this one pairs nicely under it. This is a great combination, but you only need a small amount of this and then a lot of this. If you're not getting hold out of this, definitely use more. Try that layering technique I show all the time in my content, where you scrunch out the excess water with your towel and then go in with more. When you apply gel to hair that's kind of dry, like more on the damp side, you're really going to increase the hold. So that's what you need with a very soft liquidy gel like this one. Then for those of you who need a very lightweight gel, and maybe you also want fragrance-free, the Jessie Curl Spiralicious. This is actually on sale. This doesn't go on sale often, but this is their Spiralicious styling gel. I got the fragrance-free one. I believe they also have a trial size that's on sale. Same with the Weedad. They have a trial size as well. This one is pretty low in moisture for my hair type, so I usually need a curl cream under it. You could use Recoil under it, or I also like their Confident Coils. That's sort of a cream product. I'll use that under it from Jessie Curl. So my hair gets a little dry with it by itself, but my fine hair clients and viewers say that they can use this by itself. It does have a little bit of a white texture, which usually implies that it does have some conditioning ingredients, but I don't see much on the label. I find it to be on the drier side, but not drying, but just for my hair type, I need a little extra moisture. It doesn't provide any texture and grit though. So if your hair is overly soft, you might still need to add in some sort of hairspray. But if you don't like texture and grit, but you also don't want something to soften your hair, that's where I would go with this, because it's lightweight. It's not going to weigh down your hair, but it's not going to give you that texture and grit feeling. So that's right in the middle. So what do you do if you need more texture and grit? Maybe you just want to increase your hold. You want to help with the humidity. That's where I would add in a hairspray. So the Curlsmith Moisture Recipe line is currently on sale. That's something, again, that doesn't go on sale super often on Amazon. But in that line, they have their Flawless Finish hairspray. I have the flexible hold version. I tend to reach for this one more because I don't like a super crunchy feel. But this is an alcohol-free hairspray. It's not like sticky and gross and stinky like your traditional alcohol hairspray. It's actually pretty nice. I like to spray it at a distance. If you spray it too close, you're going to get like a hard spot. But I like using this at my roots to help with volume. I also use it just to kind of get the root volume to stay. Like if you spray it at the root and fluff it up, it'll actually stick. I also use it just kind of all over my hair at a distance. I'll just create like a cloud of the spray around my hair, and that will help give me a nice humidity protection and also increase the hold. So if you like something a little bit softer hold, but you just need to add in a little bit of hold without going in with the gel, that's another good strategy to do with hairspray. If any of you have hair that is very soft and it falls easily or wavy, you definitely want to look at adding in a hairspray. There's water-based hairsprays as well, but this one will really do the job when it comes to that grit that you get in that texture, and it's not too sticky because it is aerosol. Like water-based hairsprays can sometimes be a little bit sticky. It just depends. I think that was all of the actual products. Oh, I have a couple brushes to share with you that are on sale. I'm so glad the Tangle Teaser is on sale. This is one of my all-time favorite brushes. I use this one probably the most because it's the most gentle, but it's still very effective in terms of creating clumps and definition. I usually recommend this to my clients and viewers who have very fragile hair, damaged hair. They still want the benefits of brush styling, but they're worried about breaking their hair. This is going to be a good option because it's plastic and it's flexible. There's not those little balls at the end. It has just enough teeth to where you can use it to clump your hair, especially if you apply a lot of pressure and you put a lot of hair in the brush, you will get a thick, chunky curl clump, or you can customize it and put less hair in it and kind of spread it out more and you'll get more of a separated look. So it's very multi-purpose. I use it to distribute products. Sometimes I'll just run the brush through my hair and not even brush style and I get good results. Very multi-purpose, great for all hair types. This is usually the one that I recommend the most. But then if you really want to take up your brush styling game to another level, if you just love brush styling and getting thick, chunky ringlets, then you might want something like the Bounce Curl brush. These are on sale on Amazon. Make sure you are shopping the ones that are on my storefront or from the Bounce Curl storefront, not the fakes. Please don't buy the knockoffs. It's not good for your hair, and we don't want to support that. Bounce Curl is a small company and a really great brand, female-owned, and they make amazing brushes that are now patented because there were so many knockoffs stealing her design. So please don't buy the fakes. This is the volume brush, and I really like this one for creating a lot of curl clumps without over clumping the hair because it has small spacing. So if your hair is like mine and it's lower density, you don't want to look like you have 3 curls on your head after you get done brush styling, you'll probably need something like this or just break up the clumps with your hand. But if you want just something to get it all done in one swoop, this is something that you could use that for. Also, the pointed tip is helpful for sectioning. If you're struggling with sectioning, it's probably because your section lines aren't clean, and this will help you do that. So I just wanted to show you the difference between the Define brush, which is their original one with the wider spacing. You can probably see it better if I move out of the way. So if you look at the spacing of the Define brush, see how it's a wider space. So you're definitely going to get those thicker curl clumps. And then this one is more of a narrow spacing. So that's the difference there between the two. I've done a full video comparing these brushes on my YouTube channel. So definitely check that out if you're in the market and you're not sure which one to get. So you can actually see the visible differences in my hair. But it's funny because it's kind of hard to see the differences when I tend to separate clumps anyways. Like when I use both of these brushes, I don't leave my hair super clumped because I'm so used to getting the curl clump size where I want it, which is a little bit more piecey, so I get more fullness. So it's kind of hard to tell the difference, but there are some differences you can check out there if you're curious. One more accessory I wanted to share with you before we get into the product recommendations. Again, if you were just joining and interested in getting any of the sale items, there is a link below of the YouTube description and in the pinned comment. And if you were on Instagram, all you have to do is just comment the word links and it will send you a DM with the links. If you want to refer back to it later, if you can't shop right now, then definitely do that. Just add the word links to your comment on Instagram. Okay, so the other accessory I wanted to share with you, it's from Curlfriend Collective. So their products are on sale on their storefront. Everything's on sale. But the product that I picked are their hair match scrunchies because these are so unique and fun. Curlfriend Collective, definitely one of my favorite brands, also female owned, another curly creator. Chloe is the founder, and she's just amazing. She makes great content. But these are her hair match scrunchies, which are really innovative. I've never seen anything like this. They blend into curly hair, not only with the color, so you get them to match your hair color, but also the pattern. I don't know if you can see, but the pattern of these has like a swirly texture that looks like curly hair if you look closely. So it actually mimics the variations in curls and also the variations in colors. Like if you have highlights, these will still blend in. And when you order them, you get a pack of multiple different shades. So this is the dark brunette, I think. And so that way you get the perfect match. So I wear these all the time. This is their skinny scrunchie. So it's great for hiding the scrunchie in your hair. I use this for any sort of updos, for buns, to get my hair up on my neck in the summer when it's really hot. So I love these. Very innovative product. And they even have them for gray hair and redheads too, which is really hard to find. So let me know in the comments if you've also tried these and how you like to wear them in your hair. Would love to hear. I do have a code for Curlfriend Collective as well as a lot of these brands, but for the Prime Day sale, it's a better deal. So definitely check those out. And again, comment the word links if you want the link to the products, or on YouTube, just check out that pinned comment where you can shop my storefront. And then you can see all the other products that are on sale too. So I'm just going to check my pre-submitted questions. So people sent in their hair type as well as what product that they are shopping for. Kathleen, if you're on YouTube, check the pinned comment. There's a link. So you won't receive them automatically on YouTube. You have to click the link that is in the pinned comment or in the description box. So it's right below the live if you click the see more, or check the pinned comment to shop those links. On Instagram is where you comment the word links. But thank you. Okay, so Karen on Instagram said that she has fine, soft, high porosity hair, and she's looking for a stronghold gel that's not gritty. So this is what I mean when I say be specific. That's very helpful because that helps me narrow it down. So her hair is fine and soft, which typically tells me she needs texture and grit to help with that hold. But she said she doesn't like that feeling. She said she doesn't like the Curlsmith In Shower Style Fixer, which is that thick type of gel that's very gritty. So what I would recommend for that is the Jessie Curl Spiralicious. So I just talked about this a little bit ago. If you just joined, this is a stronghold gel that's lightweight and it's not texturizing. It also doesn't contain protein. You can get it in fragrance free. So she did mention her hair is higher porosity, but that's okay. You could just use a different product with some protein, or just deep condition with protein every once in a while. So you don't have to have protein in all your products if your hair is high porosity. But this is a good option because it's not going to make your hair feel texturized, but it is going to give you that stronger hold. I will say I have to use quite a bit of this, and I also do that layering technique where I add a second coat onto hair that I've scrunched with a towel to really amp up the hold. So if you're not getting hold out of this, make sure you're doing all of those strong hold practices that I talk about to help get better hold. Another one that you might like is the AG Liquid Effects. As I mentioned, it's not currently on sale on Amazon. But you can find it on their website. They recently renamed it. I think it's now called their Medium Firm Hold or something. But it's basically a long-lasting gel with some protein and humidity protection. It's very similar to the Weedad gel, but it's slightly less moisturizing and slightly less softening. So if this was too heavy for you, you might like that one. Awesome. So the next one was from Cindy on Instagram. She said she wants gel for coarse, rough, low porosity curls. So that hair type, if your hair is more coarse, you're going to need a little bit more moisture. But if she's low porosity, then she's not going to need protein really in her gel. She could probably have some, but you don't want to overdo it. Also, low porosity hair gets weighed down. For that, I thought this Weedad one might be a good option. I haven't featured this in a long time, but this is their Coil Infusion Good Shape Defining Gel. So this gel is different than this one in the sense that it's more of a medium hold. I still use quite a bit of it to try and increase the hold, but it's not quite as strong of a hold. I can't remember if this one has protein. Yes, it does have protein. So with her hair being at lower porosity, I would just make sure that you don't have a lot of protein in all of your other products. You could still have it in your gel, just be mindful of that. But it contains multiple polyquat ingredients, which I like for longer lasting results. It's very moisturizing though, which is why I thought it would be good for her coarse, more rough textured hair. You might need to add in like a hairspray if you want to increase your hold, but I bet if you're more coarse, you probably don't want like a hairspray or super strong hold. So I thought this one might be good. It is currently on sale on Amazon. That is in my storefront, so you can check that out. Just look for the link in the description box below the YouTube video, or comment the word link on Instagram and you will get them in your DMs. The other thing I wanted to mention is the Kinky Curly Custard is another good one. I don't have it in front of me, but that would be a good option if you really want something that's protein free. It's very moisturizing, so great for coarse, rough textured hair. And it's also pretty long lasting. It is a medium hold, but you can get stronger hold out of it if you use a lot. But that would be a good long lasting option as well. Peril, I think is the name on Instagram, said fine, soft, high porosity hair. She's looking for a mousse or a gel that feels like strong hold, but won't weigh down her hair. So I was thinking of the Curlsmith fragrance-free strong hold gel. So this is my go-to for anyone who has overly soft hair. So she mentioned her hair is fine and soft, and this won't weigh down your hair. It is that thicker consistency, so you want to just use a small amount and add some water to your palms. If you use too much, it could weigh down your hair because it is thick, but this is definitely going to add that texture and grit to your hair. So this is a go-to for me. Comes in fragrance-free, which is awesome. It's not too heavy either. It's pretty low in moisture. I have to use a leave-in under this or else my hair feels dry, but for someone that has finer, softer hair, you probably could use this by itself. If you needed a little bit of extra moisture, I would go with their fragrance-free leave-in. That's from this same line. That pairs nicely under it, but you could probably use any leave-in with it and it would be fine. Something else, she also mentioned mousse. So if you're wondering what's in my hair right now, it is the Dew Mousse Def Texture Foam. This is a new product I've been testing out. I will have this in an upcoming video very soon, actually this coming Sunday, if you want to see how I used it. I tried it for the first time in that video. I actually didn't get very long lasting hold out of this. So this last wash day, I paired the the Resos Curls Stronghold Gel. That's a very low moisture stronghold gel. I put that on over top of this. So this doesn't give the most long lasting hold, so you would need a gel on top. But I wanted to mention it for this person because they mentioned their hair is fine and overly soft and that they might like a mousse as well. So this adds that texture and grit, but not too much. It was a good level. Like, I don't love a ton of texture and grit, and this didn't make my hair feel gross or anything. It's just like the right amount of texture. And my results looked amazing, but then they definitely got frizzy by the end of the day because it's super humid. So if you're not in a humid area, you might be totally fine with this, but I need to pair it with a gel or a hairspray. But see how like when you fluff the roots, it kind of stays? That's what texture and grit does, and this does that. So usually I don't recommend layering a bunch of products, but if it doesn't give you enough hold, go with a stronger hold gel. But personally, I just would rather use 1 to 2 products and use a gel that gives texture, which is why I mentioned this one. So to keep it simple, go with this. If you like layering products, use this plus a gel. You probably could use this together if you really wanted a ton of texture, but this would probably be too much texture for my hair. It would probably feel very product-y. So Jane23X on Instagram asked for my favorite clarifying shampoo. She has low porosity hair, medium density, and coarse texture. So that combo is tough. So if your hair is low porosity and it's coarse, it can get very brittle feeling. It can get buildup easily because things sit on the surface. And so you typically want to avoid some protein. The one I had pulled for this would be the We Dead Waterworks, but I need to make sure this one doesn't have protein because I forgot to check. I'm not spotting it right here, but you might want to check on the shop page on my blog where I list out all the attributes. I'm not seeing any though, but like I mentioned, this would be great for any hair type, but if you're looking for a clarifying shampoo and your hair is low porosity, you'll definitely want to make sure you use something strong so that way you're removing all of that buildup. So I would go with this one, which is also on sale. If you were just joining, make sure you leave your hair type in the comments and what product you're shopping for. If you want a personalized product recommendation, tell me your hair's texture, fine, medium, or coarse, and tell me if your hair is overly soft or if it's more like rough and brittle. Which side does it lean? Country Concealed on Instagram said, fine, very soft hair, low to medium porosity, and she needs a shampoo and conditioner. So for that, I would recommend the Maui Moisture ones that I just showed. So if your hair's fine and overly soft, and it's also low to medium porosity, this is going to be great for you because it's lightweight. It's going to thoroughly cleanse your hair. I talked about these in the beginning. And it's also not going to weigh it down. So the conditioner is very lightweight. It's not going to weigh down your hair that is low to medium porosity. I don't think these contain a protein, which is fine. You'll just want to get that in through your deep conditioners and all that. So that was some of the pre-submitted ones that I wanted to provide for you. Let me just check the live comments here. So again, if you're just joining, leave your hair type and also what product you're shopping for, and I'll try and pick something that I think would be good for you. This is something that I do with my curl coaching clients through my membership. I give them personalized product recs, but I fully go through their routine. Like, we audit their routine start to finish. So I love giving personalized product recs. It's easier for me to get to know your hair in the membership because we work together for 3 months. So I really get to know your hair. But this is a nice way to kind of give product recommendations to you all. I just need to know your hair type. So let me know. Okay, so Sari says, looking for a better leave-in conditioner plus stronghold gel for 3C medium density, low porosity. The Curlsmith fragrance-free left excessive shedding. So a gel wouldn't necessarily cause excess shedding unless if your hair maybe got super tangly and you were seeing more shedding, but it wouldn't actually cause shedding. It just might appear that way if it doesn't have enough slip, because this is one of those thicker gels. So you already tried this one. You don't want that. You're looking for a leave-in stronghold gel, medium density, low porosity. Maybe the Jessie Curl one, like I just mentioned. I know these are the products I have in front of me to pull from, but I'm also thinking about, what other products I've tried. But maybe the Jessie Curl Spiralicious Gel, because you want strong hold. And it could be that you didn't like the thick texturized texture of this. And maybe that's why you felt like you were seeing more shedding. But if you like fragrance free and that's why you tried that, you might like this one as well. I would try this by itself first to see if you get enough moisture. Always test your gels alone first when you get them. Then if you feel like you still need a leave-in, I think anything would pair nicely under this. Honestly, you could use anything. But as I mentioned, I usually use the Jessie Curl Confident Coils. So that's basically a cream product from Jessie Curl. That's what I pair underneath of this. Typically, if you do use products from the same brand, you know that they're compatible. So you know they're not going to like flake on your hair. However, I've also tried Recoil underneath of this, and I liked it. Recoil seems to pair nicely with everything that I've tried, which is hard to find. So that's what I would go with. So I'm just checking the live comments of who submitted their hair type. Lauren said she has low porosity with fine hair, but she didn't let me know which product you're looking for. I'm scrolling down to see if you said it. What product are you trying to find? Are you just looking for everything? Do you need all products? I feel like throughout this live, I called out a lot of products that would be great for fine hair that gets weighed down easily, because I know that's a lot of you. But again, you just want those stronger shampoos. So all the shampoos I mentioned here today are stronger. And then when it comes to gel, you'll want your lighter moisture, lighter weight. So that's fragrance-free stronghold gel from Curlsmith. Unfortunately, this is not on sale today, but I did still want to mention it. And then the Jessie Curl gel that's on sale, going to be low in moisture. Other than that, the other gels I mentioned might be a little bit too moisturizing for your hair type. Like these two, probably too moisturizing. If you want that slippery feeling like this one, then maybe the AG Liquid Effects, which I don't have in front of me, but that's another good one. Andrea said she just got the Weedad gel. Let me know if you like it. Try it by itself if you haven't already. I always tell my clients that because a lot of them get it too. Always try it alone. Janet said she has fine curly hair and is searching for a good product to use on dry hair. Which product are you looking for? Do you need a mask? If your hair is very dry, that's where I would go with something like this. So this Briogeo one is currently on sale. Briogeo products are pricey, but this is going to last you a long time, and definitely snag it while it's on sale, because they don't always go on sale. They might have a travel size of this too, but this is actually very lightweight. This is something I showed in the beginning. If your hair is very dry, you might want to add this in once to twice a month or so. I wouldn't use it more than once a week. You probably don't need all of that, but it's actually lightweight. So if your hair is fine, it's not going to weigh it down. You'll need some moisture if it's feeling dry. Heather said she has coarse textured hair, feels normal, not dry, not too soft. It could be kind of medium. Low porosity, high density hair, looking for moisture, locking it. Do you mean like from your gel? I typically rely on my gels to lock in moisture. Um, coarse textured, low porosity, high density. I wonder if you would like this one that I mentioned for coarse hair. It is more medium hold, so it doesn't give me super strong hold, but I do think it's really good for locking in moisture. This is also one I often recommend for people who are in a dry climate because it has good moisture locking ingredients like castor seed oil, argan oil, several different polyquats. It has PVP for hold. So some ingredients that are great for helping to lock in moisture. It even says that it locks in moisture right here on the bottle. So this maybe is a good one. I haven't featured this in a while. I need to use it again because it's been a little bit. Angelique said low porosity, medium to thick, and medium to coarse, weigh down easily, struggles with moisture balance and frizz with humid summer and high dew points. Weedad gel didn't work. Did you use enough of the Weedad gel and did you try it by itself? If your hair gets weighed down easily though, then that could be it. Especially if your hair is low porosity, you might not want something like this because it is higher in protein. That's where I would probably go in with the Jessie Curl gel, or I would add in a hairspray. So if you have another gel that you've been using and you just need some more hold for humidity, that's where I would go in with a hairspray. But this would probably be a good option. Also, if any of my clients are like really struggling with getting hold and they've tried everything and you want the strongest hold thing, that's where I usually recommend the Curlsmith gel. So this is going to be your strongest type of hold gel. And it's not as moisturizing as the in-shower style fixer. So if you tried that and it was too heavy, give this one a try because it's not as heavy. It doesn't have as many oils as the in-shower style fixer, but this will definitely give you a hard cast. So if you're not getting any hold and humidity, try that one out. It's just going to give you more of that texture feeling in your hair, but we can't have it all. Like sometimes we have to sacrifice some of that texturized feeling to get the hold that we need, especially if you want volume. You got to pick, what you want to prioritize sometimes. It's tough. I totally know how it is with humidity. Okay, so then Nancy said medium porosity, medium density products to help get tight spirals to loosen up. Okay, so loosening curls is not something I talk about a ton because most of my viewers want to tighten their curls. But if you have tight spirals, I could see how you want to loosen them up. So to loosen up curls that are very tight, you essentially weigh them down a little bit. So you use your heavier type of products. So something that's very moisturizing like this gel that I mentioned. But it's really going to come down to the techniques in your drying technique. So how you're applying your products, how you're styling, and then how you're drying is going to have more of an impact, especially if you don't want to flatten your hair. Like if you don't want to reduce your volume, you don't want to just weigh it down with a bunch of product. I would focus more on styling techniques. So you could do like praying hands that kind of stretches out the curls, but not use quite as much tension, or just focusing on raking. So anything that's going to pull your hair in the downward direction. And then when you're drying your hair, you'll want to kind of stretch your hair as it's drying. So put your diffuser prongs in and kind of stretch. So you want your curls to be in the position that you want them to stay in as you're diffusing. That's how a diffuser works. So if you want more shrinkage, that's where you use your diffuser, to bounce up your curls. The opposite, use your diffuser to pull down your curls. So that's really the only way they're going to stay is if you dry them in that position. So I would focus more on technique than I would products. So that's something I usually work with my clients with in our membership when we go through styling techniques. That way you can find the right technique for what you're going for, because not everything works for everybody. Lindsay said, Weedad Red Bottle dried my hair out, made it feel very, very brittle. Is your hair super healthy, low porosity, maybe coarse? Because it is pretty high in protein. Did you try it with a leave-in or a curl cream underneath? Because it's definitely not drying. There's nothing in here that will make your hair dry. It's actually very moisturizing, but sometimes that feeling can be all of the film formers in it, which is what I like because I need a film former to help me with humidity. But proteins create a film on the hair. So do the polymers in here. And sometimes that can give that brittle feeling if your hair is a low porosity. So that's why I usually don't recommend this for my very fine low porosity or coarse low porosity hair types, because it can just be too much on the surface of the hair. So I would clarify to make sure you remove that. And it might even be a good idea to try it again, but clarify first. That way you don't have any buildup or any barrier on your hair and you're just applying this fresh. So you would use your shampoo and conditioner and then go straight to this gel after. Nothing on underneath. That way you make sure there's not too much on the surface of your hair. So that could be it. maybe it's just not the right gel for you. That's totally understandable. Try some of the other ones that I mentioned if needed, but it could just be all of those film formers, the proteins, the polyquats that are giving you a brittle feel if your hair doesn't need the protein. But most of those are conditioning ingredients, which usually do the opposite effect. They make your hair very soft, but it just depends on your hair type. What about a stronghold gel for short, not colored, mature, salt and pepper Caucasian hair? Thanks for being specific with sharing your hair type. So a stronghold gel for short hair. So a lot of the stronghold gels that I mentioned today would be fine. I would actually need to know more of your hair's texture. Is your hair more coarse? Is it more fine when giving you a gel recommendation compared to it being gray, or if it's colored or not, because that won't really impact the gel. Most of the gels I mentioned, I have clients with gray hair. I have lots of older clients that use a lot of these products and get great results. Gray hair tends to just be a little bit more brittle, so you usually need moisture. So using something like this by itself probably wouldn't give you enough moisture. So I would try something that's a little bit more on the moisturizing side, like these three. And again, these are just the ones that I have in front of me, but there's lots of other recommendations that I have on my storefront if you want to check out the links below. But basically, I would need to know how much moisture your hair needs, how much conditioning it needs based on your hair's texture. So if you want to let me know, is it fine or is it more coarse? I bet it's probably a little bit more coarse if it's on the gray side, but not always. There can be fine gray hair too. And that's just where you'll want to go with something that's a little bit on the moisturizing side. So the Weed gel would be highly moisturizing, but also give you strong hold. But that's when I would use it by itself, so you don't get too much moisture. Awesome. So I think I got through most of the pre-submitted ones that I had pulled. I pulled the ones that were fairly specific. That way I could give you a good product recommendation as well as what I saw in the comments. If I didn't get to it, leave it in the comments of the replay. I'll be sure to go back throughout this week and give you all recommendations in the comments on the replay. The replay will be up on YouTube and on Instagram Reels. Also, I'm going to have a giveaway. Amazon was so kind to provide a gift card for you guys. It's a big one too. So I'm going to be posting that giveaway within an Instagram Reel that is going up on my feed this week. It's probably going to go up tomorrow. So be sure to follow me. Be sure to be following me over on Instagram so you don't miss that. I will send out the link for that. So I'll be sure to post it over on YouTube as well to notify you all. And I'll be sure to share it there as well. That way you can still enter. But that will be over on Instagram. So you can look for that, comment on that reel to enter to win a gift card. So that way you can shop the sale and shop future sales as well. So I appreciate everyone who joined me today. If you want to shop the links that I mentioned, if you're on Instagram, just comment the word links and you'll get a DM right away with the links that you can refer back to. And then if you're on YouTube, check the pinned comment and then also check the description box. So if you leave the live now and want to come back on the replay, the links will be in the description box for each of these products that I mentioned, as well as my storefront. I will be sending out an email as well to those of you on my list with the best deals, and I'll include a lot of these. And then I'll be sharing it all throughout stories this week too, all the different deals that I come past. So I'll be giving even more recommendations, including fashion, beauty, some more accessories as well for my top picks for this. So I appreciate everyone for shopping my links as well. I appreciate it more than you know. And thanks so much for joining me today. And again, let me know if I didn't get to you, leave a comment and I'll be sure to get back to you this week. But I hope you all have a great rest of your day and I will talk to you very soon. Bye, everyone.